And we are back. Appreciate y'all for being here. Got the schedule. Don't ask me when I got it, but I got it. I haven't seen the Cowboys rollout video that they do. Stephen A. Smith was on one of them. Post Malone was on another one. I don't really get into the Cowboys rollout videos in that way. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to everybody that work hard over there on them, but I don't really get into them in that way. But I got the schedule in front of me, you know what I'm saying? And I got 5 takeaways that I have taken away from the Dallas Cowboys 2024 schedule. Now, y'all know the vibes. Y'all know Voch. Y'all know who I am. And for the duration of this episode, I'm going to give you some objective analysis, some real talk on my 5 takeaways. But let's just keep it a buck here. Let's just get this out the way. Y'all know who I am. We beating the shit out of everybody till they prove me different. That's just facts. That just is what it is, right? We're going undefeated until a team proves me otherwise, okay? Now, let's get into some real analysis, okay? If y'all don't mind, we can do it. Now, that was real analysis, but let's get into some relatively objective if y'all don't mind, all right? My first takeaway is Tyler Guyton is going for a ride. That's okay. You know, you want to baptize the young left tackle in some fire. This is some damn fire to throw his ass into. Myles Garrett, Cam Jordan, all the Ravens kids, Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau, TJ Watt and them, Aiden Hutchinson, Nick Bosa, Danielle Hunter, Trey Hendrickson, Shaq Barrett. That's a scary ass lineup. And I know what some of y'all thinking. Some of y'all probably going, but Voch, some of those defensive ends play on the other side. Wouldn't they be lined up against Terrence? Boy, you be doing a damn celebration. You be one smiling character if most of those dudes lined up on Terrence for most of the time. But hey, just like when we do our game breakdowns and I come on here and we play a good old game of Find the Scrub, other teams do the same thing. I ain't saying Tyler Guyton's a scrub because he worked with Duke Manyweather now. Did you hear what I said?
Hear what I said?
He worked with Duke Manyweather now, so that means he's going to be a rookie Pro Bowl guy. You know what I mean? So we ain't got to worry about Tyler Guyton being good. He's in great hands, but he will go for this ride. And as far as what you would consider the scrub or the easy attack on this offensive line, let's just be fair, it would be Tyler Guyton. Terrence Steele has film of him whooping dudes in the league. Don't play with Zach Martin. Don't play with the best offensive lineman on this team, Tyler Smith. And of course, don't play with Cooper Beebe. It's going to be hard to play with Cooper Beebe because he's in between Tyler Smith and Zach Martin. So if there's just the easiest dude to just kind of target, I know Myles Garrett lines up all over the place. He'll be over Tyler Guyton. The same with TJ Watt and the same with Cam Jordan and the same with Nick Bosa. They're going to make it a point to move those guys around. They're going to be right defensive ends that day. And hey, I think it'll be good for him. I think it'd be good for his development. And luckily for us, you know, he got Myles first. And if there's any op that you want to deal with last, if there's any boss fight you want to deal with, that's like fighting M. Bison first. And then you got to roll up and fight Blanca or something. Hey man, I feel fine. I just whooped Shao Kahn first, pardon me. I apologize. I just had a fight with Shao Kahn first. I can whoop Reptile pretty good. So yeah, man, dealing with Myles, Cam Jordan will be a better day after you deal with Myles. You know, you deal with Micah for the whole camp. You deal with him every day at practice. You deal with Myles. Yeah, man, Danielle Hunter should be an easier day for you. Trey Hendrickson should be an easier day for you. Just one thing that just jumps out about this list is that they're all different. Some of these dudes are going to speed rush you like the Brian Burnses of the world, and some dudes are going to power rush you, TJ Watt and them. Myles Garrett got a big ass bottle full of damn pass rush diversity, you know. So it's really going to be a fantastic lesson, man. It's going to be a big thing to get done here, but we're going to cross that road whenever we get there. Okay. Let's talk about my number 2 takeaway, the amount of primetime games. Just from my from my first view of it, is the Cowboys got 7 of them. Okay, 7 primetime games. So they have night games, like 7:00 games for the Giants at the Giants. That's going to be Thursday versus that's going to be Thursday on Amazon. Is that the first one? No, the Browns the first one. Yeah, Browns first. So September. Okay, that is at Giants on Prime Video, September 26th at 7:17. All right, perfect, cool. So that's gonna be a night game for you Thursday at the Giants on Prime Video. Then you got Sunday Night Football versus Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh. Sunday Night Football 49ers at down 49ers. Then you got a home game, which is a Monday Night Football versus the Texans. Then you got a home game, Monday Night Football versus the Bengals. Then you got another Sunday Night Football. The Cowboys got a bunch of Sunday and Monday and a couple Thursday night footballs here. Sunday night football at home versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Those are your 7:00 games. But then they got Thanksgiving at home versus the New York Giants there. So, hey man, you got 3 home games, you got 3 away games. Pardon me, you got 4 home games that are going to be prime time with everybody watching, and then you got 3 away games. Hey, if you want to buy into the Cowboys are a much better home team than they are a team that's an away team, then fine, I can live with that. If we get to play the Texans and the Bengals at home, and the Bucks, really, if you want to consider Baker Mayfield one of those guys, then cool. The Bucks also, we care about the Giants, but hey, if we play those dudes at home, then fine. But playing at the Giants, the Amazon game or whatever, hey, do what you got to do. At Pittsburgh, if I got to travel somewhere, Pittsburgh wouldn't be like at the top of the list, man. But I can deal with Russell Wilson and the boys. Relatively early in the season while they're still trying to figure their quarterback situation out. Playing against the 49ers in Santa Clara is never a fun proposition. So that's just one we got to deal with. The whole world's going to be watching us, but that's how it always is versus San Francisco. My number 3 takeaway, okay? I got this thing separated from W's, tough games, and nightmares, okay? I only got 2 nightmares, okay? And this made me feel pretty good about the schedule. So my clear W's is what I have is the Saints, the Giants, the Falcons, the Eagles in Dallas, Washington, Giants again, Panthers, and Bucks in Washington. That's 9. Okay, and I know there's a lot of doom and gloom Cowboy fans that'll be like, well, but Voch, we're going to go 9-8 or whatever the new combination of it. It's not 9-7 no more. It's 9-8. Voch, we're going to go 9-8. Okay, well, that's just me naming all the W's that you have, right? The tough games, the Browns is a winnable game. It's a tough one. I'm glad that we get to play it, but it's a winnable game. Pittsburgh is going to be a tough game. Winnable, but it's going to be a tough game. The Lions last year were a tough game. Beat them. They want to throw the ball to an offensive lineman as opposed to throwing the ball to to one of their better wide receivers. Cool, let them do what they want to do. That's a game that you can win. It's going to be tough, but you can deal with that game. Houston Texans, tough. At the Eagles is going to be a little tougher than home versus the Eagles, and I'll explain to you a little bit later why it may be a little bit tougher. And then the Bengals are going to be a tough game. Hey, man, you're going to get tough games all the time. You're a team that wins the division. That's what the Cowboys did last year. So you get to play against other teams that won their division. Hey, game is game. That's why, Ravens are on this list, and it's somebody else that's number 1, like 49ers. Like those are your first round teams. And it just so happens that those are your nightmare teams for me. Like the 2 nightmare teams, man, y'all know how I feel about, winning games and being proven otherwise. But if there are 2 teams that are nightmarish for you, just in terms of we get to just go out there and run around, run the football against your defense, and ain't really got to prove and run defense just yet. Zimmer gonna have to prove me wrong. Zimmer gonna have to prove me wrong. And if Zimmer go out there and shut down 49ers run game and Ravens run game, Myron from Players Club, baby, you got to be watching the stream to know what that means. Don't miss shows. That's your fault. So I feel pretty good about. Let me see which ones which of these games are like home games here. So Washington, Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, New York Giants, Texans, Eagles, Lions, Ravens, Saints. So the Ravens is a nightmare game, but you got that at home. In the regular season, we haven't been losing at home very much. I made sure to put regular ass season in there. I apologize, chat. I ain't mean to bring all that trauma back to you. And the 49er game is going to be at their house. Okay, so out of the 2 nightmarish games you could just point to, one's going to be at home, one's going to be away. I think that means something there. My 4th takeaway, I think this is super sneaky important. Y'all want to know why that Eagles game, that last Eagles game on December 29th, right? My 4th takeaway. The reason why I think that game is going to be a little tough, because it's going to be your only cold weather game this season. Towards the end of the season, man, we got home versus Washington football Wizards. I'm going from the bottom to the top now. We got to play at Philly, so that's going to be a cold weather game. Tampa Bay inside at our house. Carolina in December. Come on, man. Maybe a little cold, but nothing too crazy. Not a cold weather game. Cincinnati at our crib. Washington at our Cincinnati and New York Giants at our crib. The Washington football Wizards is going to be like November 24th. That could be chilly, but I wouldn't categorize that as like a cold weather game. Houston and Philadelphia in the house. Atlanta and San Francisco at their house. So it's one cold weather game. So last year we were in a situation where at the end of the year and we got to deal like, Buffalo or some goofy shit like that. And we're like, all right, man, cold weather game. What we going to do, man? Hey, man, not only do I feel good about the opponent, but I ain't really too much, tripping on like their weather in that way. Like if it's so bad that they can't throw the football, like I'm just laughing at like their guys gonna have a worse time throwing the football to go. But I don't know, man. I ain't gonna sit up here and talk crazy about the Eagles. It's still still May, so I'm not finna go crazy with that. But hey, man, just wanted to put that on y'all radar, man. Just wanted to run that by you. I think that's super impactful that we don't have just like if you got to go to Baltimore in the cold, Pittsburgh in the cold, you know what I mean? You got to Cincinnati somewhat in the cold. Like you don't want to go to those. You don't want to do cold weather in certain places. You know what I'm saying? So I feel pretty good about our beloved Philadelphia Eagles being the only people that we got to deal with outside in the cold. And number 5, I just have that there's no reason why you don't win 12 games this year. No reason why you don't win 12 games this year. I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be pessimistic on this thing, and that's perfectly fine. But like I said, I ran down 9 wins that should be 9 for you. And you're going to have some trouble with your tough teams, with the teams that, that are in my tough list, Browns, Steelers, Lions, at the Eagles. We probably beat the shot at them at the Eagles. Texans and Bengals. You're going to have challenges with these teams. It's not going to be a cakewalk or anything like that, but you're going to have to be prepared. You're going to have to be able to deal with those tougher fights. And I like the amount of winnable tough fights because you need the experience. You need that fight in your body to be able to deal with that and be prepped for the postseason. You don't want a cakewalk. Like you don't want to end with like Drew Lock and Tommy DeVito and shit. You don't want to end with Tyrod Taylor and go into the playoffs. You got to go play Baker Mayfield and get kicked out of the playoffs, getting your ass whooped by Baker Mayfield. You don't want that, right? I feel like you want a more rigorous end of the season campaign. You know what I'm saying? So just by the way it looks, man. Just by the way it looks, we're really going to get tested week 1, 2, 3. Week 3 is a huge look. Don't get me wrong. The Browns is a big test in its own right. I still think Deshaun Watson kind of trash. The Saints are going to be a big test in their own right. Also, too, can somebody in the chat box give me the update on Nick Chubb and coming back from his injury? Well, like when did he get hurt? I know he got hurt last year. What does timetable look like? Because that could be something beneficial. We'll talk about that when it's time to talk about that. But the Browns defense is going to be tough. The Saints got a defense that can give you a hard day, but I don't think David Carr is going to give you a hard time. Baltimore Ravens is going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight for you. You know what I'm saying? So that's your early fight. And then you got San Francisco coming off your bye week. All right. You got Detroit bye week. Then you got San Francisco. That's your other hard fight. You know what I'm saying? But besides that, at the end of the season, man, you got your last couple of games. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll go your last 5 games. You got a tough one in the Bengals, a 2-0 fight with the Panthers, a tough, you could say tough defense or whatever. And look, Baker Mayfield go ahead and put up points, man. I don't want to poo-poo on it too much, but, I still thought, you know what I'm saying? Baker Mayfield is there for you. Eagles is going to be another tough fight at the end of the season for you at Philly in the cold. And then you got the Washington football Wizards, Dan Quinn. I don't know, he might be having Jonathan Allen playing linebacker or something. We don't know what the bit is going to be with him. But I like how this schedule kind of pans out a little bit. It gives you a good idea of who you are early. Browns early, Ravens early. Steelers defense is what I'll say in particular. Lions early, 49ers early. Like you got those teams early. You're going to get tested early. But I still think there's no reason you should lose or there's no reason why you shouldn't win 12 plus games this year. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Hey, man, that's what I wanted to give y'all, man. Lay y'all the piece. Just wanted to run that by you, man. Y'all hold it down for the Dosey Wilson Piece of Whiskey. Until next time. Peace.